It's a Monday. Why am I so happy? I'm not. I'm just loud. Welcome to the next episode 234, I believe, of the ongoing battle. Maybe 235? No, 234. I don't know numbers. It's the ongoing battle between me and this microphone, and we're having some fun. We're going to have producer Steve jump on in a second. Bottom of the hour, so excited. I'll tease this a few times. Comedian Josh Young, a great comic I've met from my time over at Flappers, who is funny, smart, and a comic who is very much on the right side of history, off stage and on, and I love that. I want to highlight folks like that. So Josh Young, bottom of the hour. A little sports calls. I want your calls, but again, if you call in the show, how can you be a caller? YouTube channel membership, Patreon support at patreon.com/Napzok. Get in there and you'll see a private chat. You have access to that. That's kind of like our call screener. Let me know what you can talk about. Put a fine point on it. Have a question. Have a take, as Jim Rohn would say. And let's talk about the stuff going on in the world here tonight. A little bit of business on the Patreon page as well. November 19th in the evening time, probably 5 p.m. where I do this show. I'll be doing the Young Guns 2 watch-along. I've been promising this for a while, but now we've turned it into something bigger. It's going to be live, exclusive to Patreon. You can watch it, and then higher level tiers. So we'll actually get to be there, and I'll find a way. We're all just going to hang out and watch one of my favorite movies of all time. Actually, it's a film. It's a film, producer Steve. Young Guns 2 is a film.
Film I'm yet to see. Happy Monday, Ken. I'll have to check it out one of these. I saw Young Guns 1, just never saw Young Guns 2. I don't know why.
I mean, well, you have the opportunity coming your way. I'd ask how you're doing, Steve, but it's kind of been one of those days, huh? There's a lot of things to talk about. We're going to start with some wins. And I don't just mean the Miami Dolphin win over the Buffalo Bills, which was, sexy. But we're going to talk about some wins, but also potentially giant losses. But Steve, I ask you, how are you holding up?
Not great, Ken. Not going to bury the lead. All that hot, nice left lib energy we built up last week with Mamdani and blue waves and all that kind of stuff. It's like someone just came in and popped that balloon and then hit me with a shaving cream pie and then kicked me in the nuts.
But not in the comical way. Like the painful way.
Not at all. That gets all of those hurt. Like the shaving cream gets in your eyes and in your mouth. And it's not fun.
Yeah, I want to talk about this stuff. And as always, I set myself down in front of my computer about 4 o'clock and I say, I'm going to make sure I read up on everything and not just swing through the headlines as we often do. And I did not have that opportunity. One of the reasons I will say is because Franny and I got into a fight with a cat in the backyard. No contact made, but Franny and I, the key word, not just my Chihuahua, me, Steve, chased a cat around the backyard. I have ring footage. So I sat down a little late. But let's start with a win here. I think it's, I want to, I only do that, Steve, because we need to grasp for those positive straws. You know what I mean?
Well, grasp away, please.
I think it's important to note that for now, because the group behind Kim Davis's lawsuit is vowed to not stop. But one of the only good things out there today, the Supreme Court rejected a petition to seek to overturn their 2015 ruling that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. I said ruling like I'm on the farm in the South. The case, of course, brought forward by former Kentucky County Clerk Kim Davis, who, you remember her, Steve. She refused to issue marriage license to same-sex couples, because it destroyed the sanctity of marriage. She herself married 4 times, I think cheated on a few of them. It's just an absolute peach. Like I said, the group behind her case, it's a guy named, I'm scrolling down, I had it, Matt Staver of the Liberty Council. It's always some generic 1776 name. Said, like the abortion decision in Roe v. Wade, Obergefell was egregiously wrong from the start. We will continue to work to overturn it. So that's a wrap. But the big win, Steve, obviously is just, I think, the overall win. But then the minor win is Kim Davis now faces like $360,000 in damages and legal fees for refusing to issue marriage license in the past. So, Steve, I pitched you a win.
I'll take the win. I imagine her GoFundMe that will get set up and and funded by, all the different right-wing groups will meet that goal fairly quickly. Because they're all about pulling themselves up by them bootstraps that are called GoFundMe. But I think Kim Davis is really, shout out to Kim Davis for just being one of those OG internet meme Karens. Like she's like one of the first new wave Karens. She's like the Renaissance painter, or Raphael, if you will, of internet Karens. Kind of that early 10s to mid 10s, like kind of just It's so shout out to Kim Davis for that. She's still finding relevancy all these years later, which is hard to do in the internet, Ken. It's tough.
Trust me, I'm from the old internet too. She's from the old internet. She was back then, like you said, the golden age, where it was all seemed harmless. And the fact that a cockroach like this still going and has some of these people behind her. Yeah, you're right. Someone, this is what Elon Musk or someone will step up. Some billionaire will be like, I'll pay your legal fees. I won't give food to anybody. But I got to imagine that'll happen. But I think the way things were going, I think I woke up to this news and thought, oh, that's a surprise. I just assumed they were going to hear it and overturn it, and we were going to continue our royal fucking. But I'll take this little speed bump. This might not be the last time we have to hear about it or deal with it in terms of someone challenging it, but I'll take it.
Gotta take what we can in these times. I'm with you on that. I appreciate the positivity, Ken.
Look, when your football team's 3-7, you got to take the joy where it's found. Also, I almost made a reference to this up top, but Tully is right. It's a hearty Midwestern shout out to the crew of the Edmund Fitzgerald, The Tragedy, 50 years ago today, the Gordon Lightfoot song, still one of my favorite songs of all time. And I loved it early on. So you're familiar, obviously, Steve, with the Gordon Lightfoot song, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a party playlist kind of. It's every good party has Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald on the playlist for sure.
Absolutely. If you don't do it at karaoke, are you living? I was early. That song was like a favorite early on. I loved story songs. So this is when I was 12. And side blather, there's sometimes a meme that pops up about like a youngster, like a young girl, a young kid, or someone like here they are listening to all the records her dad has given to her, making her the most unhip, disconnected kid in her school. Like the parents forcing their own pop culture on them. Though I understand passing down the love of music. My parents only passed down Christian praise music, so I had to find my own way. I was 12. And people were like, what's your favorite song? I'd be like, either I Am a Rock by Simon Garfunkel or The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. I was the most unhip kid around. I shouldn't have done these songs. Absolutely.
The parents of your friends were a little worried. They're like, I wonder what is little Kenny? Is he okay? Do we need to call him? Okay.
The legend lived down from the yeah. Still one of my favorite songs. All right. There's two big things that, of course, are at the top. And it's the shutdown blues and the site. It's so buried. And this is the problem, right, Steve, is we have so many things going on. It is a shotgun blast to our face every day. Trump just pardoning all his little criminal friends, just gifting out little vengeance pardons. It was sweet for Darryl Strawberry. But now Giuliani and all the people with the 2020 election thing, the system is against us, Steve. This is not a surprise. I don't think anyone in my chat needs to explain to me how it works. This has been the case for a while. And I had this thought while watching Death by Lightning. Check out my review from Saturday. I got to clip that out. Watching James Garfield in 1880 fight the New York machine and the spoil system, some of which was overturned with some of the stuff put into law by Chester A. Arthur, it reminded me of like, oh yeah, that was also one of the most corrupt periods of time, and I still feel we're dealing with that. Where I have my arguments with some of the old conservative folks in my life, not older in terms of age, but just the old friends from circles and even family. Sometimes I'm like, yes, the fight, the Democrat is versus Republican, that's the fight we have. Republican, that's the fight we have now. But sometimes I just feel like I have to point out, like, it's not about up and left and right. It's just like, but the problem is the system. At what point in these last 250 years are you going to clue in that it's the system? And they still don't. They just live on the surface of it. Today, Steve, was a system day where this is what we're all up against all the time.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. And I think it comes back to a don't rock the boat mentality. For the people in power, for the people who have capital, they've got a good thing going. And so if you think they're going to give that up to benefit the masses, so to speak, I have like a lot of bridges to sell you. So I don't, you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, how do we fix all of this stuff? You root out corruption and greed. But I mean, if that was the case, you could have all of the Nobel Peace Prizes. So like, I don't know how we're going to fix all of that like that as easily, but you're not wrong. I mean, it does come back to those basic things.
The only small sliver of hope, and I'll say this too, like me, I'm going to try to be calm and a little collected on the news story. I'm not going to do it. Let's just barf under the internet. Let's try to see what's going on here. And I'm like, all right, is there a way I can see this? That Schumer put on his glasses and was like, well, we're going to make a decision here for the benefit of every people. And I'm like, all right, we got the delays going on. We got, Secretary of Road Rules Duffy threatening to shut all the planes down. People are losing their SNAP and money. And I could imagine sitting there going, oh, it's not an easy call. I'll say that. But I saw a lot of folks making reference today, because I did try to watch some stuff on this today to better educate myself, is the Ukraine situation, of which, of course, it means a lot to me. My grandmother from Kyiv, her sister from Chernobyl. It's in my blood. And they've had several times over the last few years where the offer was on the table. We'll end this horror. We'll end this bloodshed if you just give us that land we wanted. And the fact that they keep coming back and saying, yeah, this is horrible, but no, this is the fight. This is the fight, and we will not concede on that. And we also are kind of winning. We're not winning outright, but this was supposed to last 3 days, and here we are 3 years later, and you're flailing. We're not going to give it now. I thought the shutdown, as hard as it was, and it was affecting people we know, and I can say, all right, I understand that a little bit. The willingness to not win the war, to not dig in and win the war, was what I think hurt me most today. You got hurt so much you wrote your senator.
I did. I wrote my senator. I was digging through my old personal effects and things, looking like, is any of this disqualifying if I ever decide to run for office one day? Spoiler alert, yes. So that's probably out of the bag. But I did. I wrote my senator. I did my civic duty today. I gave Tim Kaine a letterful, as you could say. Some poor 20-year-old intern is going to read it and then make a joke about it at lunch with some other 20-year-old intern, and no one will ever know about it. But I did my civic duty, and I feel good about that. But this was, I'm very upset that the way the shutdown went, the way that this is being resolved. Being from Northern Virginia and living in an area that is heavily impacted by this. I mean, Tim Kaine's letter and responses that he put out and press that he put out was all about how so many of my constituents are federal workers who have been working but not getting paid, blah 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 blah. I don't want to just rant onto the internet about how mad I am about all this stuff, because I could go on all day. But
sure,
the thing that really sucked, and why this really felt like such a swift kick in the nuts today, Ken, is because it's like, ask any person on the left over, this is the best weekend they have had since, I don't know, like the month before we thought Hillary Clinton was become the first woman president of the United States. Like seriously, like there was like that little mini, there wasn't even a blue wave. We had we like squashed what was supposed to be a red wave, and the Democrats made that like in what was it, like 2020 or 2018, whatever it was. They made it into this huge giant deal as if, everything was saved, when, the Republicans still had a majority of everything. And so they finally get some momentum. They see all these shifts going left. You elect essentially centrists in New Jersey and Virginia, and we're still celebrating it like these are these progressive champions. But it was like, because we're so desperate for something. And it's like, this is the textbook definition of grabbing victory from the jaws, or grabbing defeat from the jaws of victory. Like they were so, like, Democrats finally did something, and they stuck their heels in, and they were finally like doing the fighting for people that they talk so much about. And then honestly, what I think is getting this whole shutdown thing is we can talk about food stamps, we can talk about furloughed workers, we can talk about federal government employees. It's ATC. It's the airplanes. It's the airline industry. It's not only the ATC completely collapsing. It is the fact that millions and millions and millions of dollars have been spent in airline lobbies in the last few weeks to which is crazy because Congress isn't even open. But so much money has been spent since this government shutdown on in favor of airline corporations that we all ought to have a part of at this point, considering how many times they've been bailed out one way or the other, or subsidized one way or the other. So like that's it. Like the internet was flooded this weekend with those cute little messages on TikTok and Instagram everywhere of the captain coming up, be like, "Hey guys, we know how much this sucks. Blah blah blah. We're with you. Da 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 da. It doesn't matter which way or the other." And I think that was a huge part of this, because guess what? All those guys want to go home in 2 weeks for Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
so we got sold out.
Yeah. There was I really like him, and I stand by that. There's some folks that might not like him. I like Professor Scott Galloway. He says some things that often I don't agree with, but I think he mostly is on the right side, and I'll just say that. But he said something today of he had talked before about the proposal of during these times when we're air traffic controllers are down, or flight, all the tags of private planes should be shut down, right? You're grounded, so all the commercial flights, you first. And that would not go well, right? And I like that you're not like, because unfortunately it's maybe what's happening, but the airplane lobby stepping on up here and suddenly now facing Secretary of Road Rules, well, I guess no one's getting home, and all the money exchanging hands, and that's the frustration, right? Among many things, is it's the system. And I was starting to say before I blathered off, I look for, there's two things. Again, I was trying to measure it. Can I understand on some level? Tough spot, everything, maybe, but then every person from all walks of life under, I don't know what banner, liberal, Democrat, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're all saying it's bad, right? This was pretty unified in how bad this was, except for like the 8 fucks that voted yes.
Yep.
And I say that as hope, in the sense of even like you said, some of the candidates that won last week, what's her name, coming out saying it was malpractice. Even
Spamberger.
Mark
Spamberger.
or no, the other one. What's the other one? Cheryl.
Mikey? Yeah, Mikey Sherrill. Yeah.
Mikey Sherrill.
Mikey Sherrill.
I think she was on the said Eva Mark Kelly, who's steadfast but quiet, and he's saying not throwing support behind Schumer as a leader, whereas Hakeem Jeffries is like, hey, I'm going to speak out about this, but I think he's great. We're tired of that. And then the only hope, the big hope, is as we talk about the system, I think we're just more aware of that. Definitely than when I was growing up, man, because it was viewed, and yeah, it was mostly apolitical, but in talking about it, there was more of that, like, this is just what it is, politics, right? And we put it up on a shelf. I think there's less of that. I don't know if it's because you and I are in the bubble talking about it weekly or watching the shows. I didn't have those shows as a kid, but I just feel it's on the minds of people more and more people are getting it. I don't know what that leads to. I don't know who you can vote in that can destroy the system. I had passed on information to me. One of my family members knows someone, helped someone get to Congress, and just recently they were like, I wish, on a particular issue, we're like, I wish I could help you. There's nothing I can do because I got here and it's all a machine. And that's scary to me. But now we're more aware of it. And I hate what's going on this week, but maybe we're more aware of it.
I think you're absolutely right that we're more aware of it. I mean, I grew up in the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal 90s era of politics and pop culture mixing, and I still think even now politics and pop culture is mixed more so even since then, and that's why you have that cultural awareness of things being more out in the open. But between weaponized ignorance and the apathy generally that has become a thing in our culture, that has kind of pushed people away from informing themselves, taking the time it takes to inform yourself on politics. Because I think that's kind of one of the cruxes of the whole system is it's regardless of how convenient everything is, you have to take a little bit of time to educate yourself on platforms and issues and stuff like that, and we just don't have the time for that. Yes, but in a way, it's like the desire's there in a sense. Like we saw Republicans have been doing this with young men. They figured it out. It was just put all of our shit in front of Joe Rogan and have him do it for us, right? And I'm not saying the Democrats need to find their Joe Rogan. That's like the whole like overdone thing, right? But it's finding this. But what it is finding this little pocket of new ways to introduce things to people. And I wanted to bring this up because this I think is a little glass half full. I think we need to normalize this idea of our current elected leaders debating in front of us, not in election cycles. Like there is no reason why, dude, these things would do huge numbers in primetime. There is no reason why a Mike Johnson, Hakeem Jeffries debate. I mean, it sucks it would be Hakeem Jeffries. You got to get some, but AOC and Mike Johnson debating in primetime on a Wednesday on ABC would do a fucking 20 million people.
Mm-hmm.
On the shutdown, on healthcare, on why is this, and let them actually talk about these things, not an election cycle. Let them talk about it outside of the thing. I think there's a way there to include your civil discourse in more than just the election cycle and actually have people talk about the issues while they're happening.
I like this. I don't mean this is even as a jokey bit or segment. Unfortunately, till now, it seems like we've only seen that with thirsty sociopaths, right? DeSantis, Newsom having that debate and everything like that. But correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. Correct me if I'm wrong here. What you're kind of talking about is the debates, the primetime debates, State of the Union, all those kind of big things get put into that politics bucket with the label, ugh. So if you bring it out from those cycles and it just becomes something that people can digest. It's what I keep talking about with the Mamdani of it all, where the amount of people in our lives who were like, oh, socialism. And this isn't me saying that's the perfect system or this, but then it's like, Dev, you heard what that actually means. Most people haven't. So if you're talking about these issues, because most people right now, this is like the baseball strike. Ugh, both owners and players suck. Give me baseball. Democrats and Republicans suck. This government shutdown's about them, where it's way much more, not nuanced like that word, but it's way deeper than that. It affects everyone's life. It affects people, Here's what's at stake. So yeah, how do we make that happen? Should we offer to host it here?
Yes. Well, money is how you make it happen, unfortunately.
Okay.
But so that kind of takes us out of the equation a little bit, but I'm down. Like I would still, I work for free already. So I'll if it means we get Mike Johnson and AOC to debate on the Blathering and get those dad numbers, absolutely, man. I'm all for it.
Oh, I thought you said dad numbers. Yeah, we'll get some dad numbers and we'll get some ad numbers.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I love what you're saying, and it's just I think another thing too was it was way too predictable from where we all were this weekend, because in the back of our heads was this this is too good to be true vibe.
Oh yeah. It was too easy. I mean, leave it to Democrats to just shoot themselves in the foot, man. They can't help themselves. Like they're the dog chasing the mailman. They finally caught the car. They're like, shit, what do I do? I'm a dog. This is a car. You mean, wait, I'm a Democrat. People like me now. What do I do? Fumble.
What do I do?
It's just
again, misunderstanding what the general thought was. Again, I will go out. I will extend one more carrot of just like people are going hungry. People are losing their benefits. Yeah, I absolutely get that. But this is about the bigger fight, and the fact that it all boils down to we'll vote on that. You can trust Senator Emperor Palpatine. He said he'd hear our case on this. We trust him. So we'll see. We'll see. You don't have to fly anywhere soon, do you?
Thank God, no. Nope. And if I did, I would drive. I would take a sailboat before I fly.
Sailing takes me away from where I'm going. So to sum up the politics this week, Steve. Sum up the politics. Big losses. We need some people to primary Schumer and Kane. I ask if you're up to the task for Kane. Can we start your campaign? How do we do this?
We do it right here. Producer Steve for Senate. I have no experience. I think I'm old enough. Yeah, I think you have to be 30 to be a senator. So I think I clear that. Did not go to law school, but I got an A in media law and a B in election law in college. That'd probably qualifies me more than at least half the House.
You're more well-spoken than me. You think on your feet.
Right.
I'm just an old dum-dum who can't works through the day to get to Fortnite. Like, we need you. We need you. So there you go.
We can set up a PAC to just funnel all the PAC funds to just like pay your rent or something.
Oh, I could use that.
If anything, we gotta like if we're gonna benefit from this government corruption, we got to do it somehow.
David McKay points out the truth. We can repurpose Producer Steve for Pope merch. You did lose there. Mr. McClunk is saying small wins. There are small wins. People who get back to work and some SNAP benefits funded through the fiscal year 2026. And I get it. Again, I understand. You're on that firing line, and who flinches first and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But here we are. All right. Bottom of the hour in just a minute or two. We'll have comedian Josh Young. I can't wait for you all to meet Josh. One of my favorites over there at Flappers. Like I said, not only just a funny comic and a great guy in a green room, which you non-comics don't understand and don't maybe value as much, Steve. But you know what I mean. He's a good locker room guy.
So you need a good locker room guy. You need a good glue guy. Someone who like gets everyone together. You know, they kind of. It's if you're up 20 or down 20, this is the guy who kind of keeps you focused, keeps you in it.
Here's what, because I've been in stand-up comedy since 2003. You quit a few times, but came back. Stand-up comedy green rooms can be full of just some of very nervous people, very anxious people of all different skill levels and experiences. It can be full with a bunch of a-holes. It can be full with the indifferent people. It can be full with the two chatty Cathys that kind of ruin the vibe the other way. But I've gotten better at over the years of when I identify people that I like in these green rooms that bring a good energy, contribute to the show, have a good time. And like I said with Josh, on the right side of history, I want to value them more, Steve. It's locker room guys. We're sports guys. We need those players that brighten up our locker rooms.
Absolutely. You need those guys. And you also need them to, they were just relate so well. Like it's like having like an emotional support Labrador retriever like next to you there, right? Like they just
exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So we're gonna do that. Our second installment of a cool thing about. So this is what's also cool. I'm gonna bring Josh in here in about a minute. He's gonna tell us something cool about himself. I have no idea. I knew a little bit last week with Greg Benevent what he was gonna talk about. I do not know what Josh is gonna talk about. So that's gonna be a lot of fun there. All right. So Steve, I'll drop you out for a second. You get to go watch your Eagles. Don't spoil the game. Tully does ask an important question. Will this campaign for Steve cut into the game streams? It might, but I think it's important for candidates to stream more. Kat Abou-Ghazaleh is streaming more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Kat's what I mean? All the time on Twitch. I'll do some co-streams with Kat and Hassan Piker, and I'll be famous. It'll work out no problem.
There you go. And Steve will finally get the money that he doesn't get from me. All right, there you go. By the way, thank you for anyone who wants to super chat this month. It'll be greatly appreciated. All right, let's bring him to the stage here now. I'm so excited to do this. So I'm going to drop you out here, Steve. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring in there. And then Josh Young is here. Josh, how are you doing, buddy? Your mic is muted. Don't you worry. On your end. You got it. Oh, it was there for a second.
At it, you brought my audio back.
Yeah, you're in. You're in the background. Oh, no. Check your onboard settings as well as your I'm just checking on my end. All good on this end. So maybe check your laptop. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry about that. I put it on mute because I wasn't sure if I popped in right away, but here I am. Now I'm doing pretty good. I got to work. I'm going to do some mics tonight. I want to say,
buddy,
letting me know that I'm like the locker room guy. I like to make it fun in the green rooms and just chat and have a good vibe. So I appreciate that.
Well, everyone, you've been how long you been doing stand up now?
Well, realistically, I've been doing it for a year, seriously, but I've been dabbling since I want to say the late 2010s, like 2017, 2018, around that time. But I took it seriously this last January.
And you're killing it. You're doing great. And this is not going to be a stand-up conversation that will bore all my audience, but I'm fascinated by this stuff because what I mean by that too is, aside from everything I said there, stand-up green rooms are also full of just a lot of people in competition with each other, not intentionally. We are all got this kind of we're all grabbing for land. And I think over the years in the past, that was very isolating. And a lot of people show up nervous or show up this or show up angry. And I try to break through that. I want to get into my head and my headspace and prepare for the show. But I like folks like you, folks like Greg, who are just like, hey, we're all here together to put on a show. There's enough time for all of us. There's enough space for all of us. Let's have a good time. And you help that vibe, sir.
Yeah, I like to keep my calm level at a good 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? I like to definitely, just kind of be relaxed. I like to do meditation and do a lot of I literally will have my earbuds in and be listening to like meditation music on the way there. So
Yeah, okay.
keeps me chill, you know.
I love that. I know a lot of comics that listen to heavy metal. I listen to Lady Gaga. It's all what
Oh
your vibe
yeah.
is. There you go.
A bad romance, you know, you got to do it sometimes. You
I
got to
do
do
that.
it.
I come to stage at Flappers a Lot Tequila. Though then they temporarily went to where that we couldn't request music. They were only going to play 1920s flapper covers of popular hits. And that's
Oh yeah, I've been there for that too. Sometimes they hit though. Sometimes they hit. The last time I was there, I think I want to say Friday, they actually were playing music though. So I don't know.
okay. All right,
They're
maybe we're
breaking
back
the
to it.
rules or what was going on. So it was fun though. It was a vibe for sure.
It was a vibe indeed. All right, this is our segment, A Cool Thing About, and this is where I get to learn a cool thing, an accomplishment, a secret, a confession, something he does, a talent. I don't know. He gets to decide. It's a cool thing about comedian Josh Young. Josh, what's one cool thing about you?
So the one thing that I wanted to talk about today is that I recently started vlogging again. I used to do it initially before I moved to California. The videos were cringy. I do one day want to like do reacts to it, like a react, kind of like a live stream, what you're like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I started doing that, and the main intention behind that is to just show people what it's like to be like an open micer in LA, if that makes sense. But I like to do like kind of like a little clip farming, random little things throughout the vlog. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about today.
Absolutely, it's a cool thing indeed, and I really think it would be fascinating for people to see what it's like to kind of get up on your feet in the stand-up world. The open mic world is necessary, but also brutal little subgenre. But before we get to that, when did you first start blogging or vlogging? It was how was this MySpace time? Was this Tumblr? When did you first dig into it?
So I want to say I started in like, I want to say 2018 or 2019. I remember like, you know, those cheesy New Year's things where it's like, I'm going to do this, but I actually dedicated to making a YouTube video once a week for an entire year, and back in 2019. And that was like the start of my journey of creating content online. And it kind of led me here. You know, I didn't have many subscribers, but it like led me to a bunch of like cool opportunities to like, you know, do like background work for influencers and doing some stuff with TikTok earlier on. But that's when I started initially, then I stopped. But I started again, honestly, this year. I was doing more movie reviews, but I was like, I kind of want to go back to just the free form creative
telling your story
energy. Yeah, pretty much.
That sentence back there took a turn I wasn't thinking or expecting. Background work, normal, I get that, but background work for influencers. What exactly do you have to do for the influencers in their videos? So
kind of, you know, there's a little bit of tea, but like I feel like it's more known now. But at least at the time, it wasn't quite known. There'd be like certain influencers, they would do like bits in their vlogs, and we would just kind of be like the background. Like one time I did a random like Old Spice background react where it's like, here's the product and you just overly react. So that's kind of what I did when I first got to LA, was just random opportunities. I had sent a DM to this company or this individual, and then they linked me up with this company. And I just did that. So it was pretty interesting, honestly.
I mean, I definitely don't need any tea spilt that would get you in trouble. I'm just, in my mind, I'm seeing it as, I mean, or get yourself in trouble. I don't care at this point, if you want to, you know. But I take it as, it's like I know some folks that are ghostwriters for kind of influencers for books and stuff, or their posts. And I'm not just talking about a social media manager. I'm talking about someone who's like, my job is to write the Instagram posts for blank. Those I won't spill my tea that I know either, but it kind of, in a weird way, even though I'm not like a big fan of like the influencer culture or whatever, even though at this point we might all be influencers, and I'm happily open for influencing for money, it weirdly destroyed the sanctity for me. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That starlet didn't write her own book. You wrote it? Oh, damn it. So not that you did that, but I like that a little exposing.
Yeah, no worries. No ghostwriting on my end. Just overreactions, if you know what I mean. Like that's what I was doing. But honestly, the videos I'm doing now, it's just like kind of like the in-betweens of me doing mics. I keep the, you know, that like the privacy that mics are, where I don't record anyone. But like, you know, at my home base at Flappers, I do B-roll, but I'm obviously not going to post people's content if it's not ready. And that's what I'm doing. And then my girlfriend will be in the videos too. And the first one I did was pretty exciting. It was like a bunch of like montages of me going to mics, but also like going out. But I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of lame. I don't really go out that much. So this last one was like more chill, like realistic, like going on runs and hitting mics is what I usually do.
How many open mics do you hit a week?
I want to say somewhere between like 3 and 6, depending on if I have shows coming up or not. So definitely between right there.
Man, that's a lot. I don't have the energy for that grind. God bless you.
No, I feel that.
What, when you're vlogging or with what you're doing now, this cool thing about you, like what do you hope to share with the world through your vlogs about this open mic scene, or just you yourself?
Honestly, just to share my comedy more. That's why I moved away from doing the movie reviews. I love film, but I want to like showcase that I am funny. I do that like in comedy, and I want to do it on the internet as well too. And just, do more collaborations. And just simply comes down to just like making people laugh. That's truly what I want to do. So I feel like it's fun to do it on the internet, and then I cross post it and like clip farm and say weird things. As you notice, I said the 6-7 thing earlier. So like, maybe I'll use that later on, but
please do. I still to this day, I know what it is. I know there's no true meaning to it, but have you been able to uncover any meaning in 6-7?
I have not. I just know it gets the people going. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm only 31, but I'm like, it's a little bit distant from like, I had like a friend, Jared, explain it to me, and it's pretty much, it means nothing. So I thought it meant like 69 to like Gen Alpha or Gen Z, but it's nothing, I guess. I
thought they had unlocked a new wrinkle to the position, that they had found something that maybe we all should introduce. And I was like, I thought it was impressive, and turns out it's just nothing. Just absolutely nothing. Where can the fine folks find where you're vlogging? I want them to follow you on your adventures.
Of course. And I'll leave a comment underneath. It's my handle on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube is Khmer Viking. It's spelled Khmer Viking.
What Laserbolt says we used to do 6 and 7s back in the 80s means something.
Of course.
Jared says if I want, I could mostly explain, but it's still not that interesting. Yeah, that's the thing there too. What drew you to stand up? To switch it a little bit, while I have you for a couple minutes here about stand up. What drew you of all the art forms to comedy?
I just always was like the class clown. I always say that I love attention. I'll keep it a little PG. I love attention. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why I wanted to do it. And I just thought, honestly, I was talking to a friend like literally this last Saturday. He was like talking about how some comedians are like, they take it like very seriously, or they use it as like a stepping stone or whatever. But like then there's certain comics who stumbled upon it. And I honestly just kind of stumbled upon it one time when I was like in college. And but I've always been a fan of stand-ups too. So the class clown to the mic is kind of the vibe,
Yeah. What are some of the best moments you've got to experience so far? What are those moments where you have come off stage and been either like, wow, that was cool, or wow, that felt really good?
So I guess recently, to be honest, I was doing a Uncle Clyde's contest at Flappers, and I was in the main stage, and for some weird reason, like the timer wasn't working right or whatever. It was like stuck. I'm not sure what happened there, but it ended up working out in my benefit because I ran through my time, but they didn't give me the light quite yet. But I knew mentally the jokes were already like,
you knew you were at the end.
Yeah, but I'm like, I guess they're not going to call me off yet. So I just kind of riffed at the end, and I kind of like to practice that like at mics, like riffing a bit of, because I took a semester of improv when I was younger. So like that felt really cool. Like I didn't know I could riff in front of like, I don't know, like 50-ish people or so. And it ended up working. People laughed. So I guess I took like a risk, and that paid off. So that was really cool.
That's fascinating as a comic. And this is something, it took me years to kind of be okay with. It's what I call being present within yourself and your feet on the stage and being present in the moment. And there's obviously this big conversation around crowd work and what is crowd work and is it bad? Is it good? And veteran comics don't like it. Other people are bad at it, but still get famous. There's all this conversation. But I think when I have those moments where you're going off script, off the path that you set up for yourself as a comic. They're really organic. That's, I think, what people are reacting to. And so to hear you as a comic going, oh, I didn't know I could do that, but I did it. That's fun for me to hear. And that's a good thing to build on when it comes to your comedy.
Yeah, and honestly, I think I did a show later that Friday too, and my girlfriend commented on it. Like, I was a lot more comfortable. Like, I was doing some newer material, a little bit of like darker jokes about like me being biracial, being Cambodian and white, and I was like kind of talking about like the history of that, bit of a darker subject matter. But like, I was like, the degenerate comics find this funny, you know what I mean? But like, when I went out in front of an audience, they were like kind of like, oh wow, that's kind of sad. But like, I like I muscled through that. But she's like, the fact that you were like so confident, even though that specific point that wasn't working. But she says I'm a lot more comfortable on stage in comparative to like last January, I want to say.
That's awesome, man. You're finding yourself, you're finding your place on there. Josh, I absolutely love you swinging by. I want you to drop that link in here because I want my Blathering fans to find you. Follow his vlog. It's a grind, man, out there watching. It's a grind. Forget book shows, but when you're driving around, you're finding these open mics. Often they're in dark, dank bars in the dark ends of the streets.
Oh, for sure.
Otherwise, the clubs, the ones at Flappers, which are solid, now are out on a patio. I don't know how they're going to get through the rain with that, but I think it's an interesting idea. So I think it's good. Do you host any or just on them?
I do. I host on Saturdays. It's like a blended mic / show. So it's a fun little vibe. I invite a handful of comics and, sometimes they bring audience members and, it's like a nice, fun, like lower stake, like show vibe. So yeah, that's Saturdays, every Saturday as of right now. So yeah.
There you go. Check it out. Josh, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being so good in that green room, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to hanging out again in the green room. So that'll be a fun vibe.
Let's do it. Sure. I hope I get a show this weekend. I have not been booked yet. I'll put some pressure on them. All right. All right. Josh is going to drop a link. Say hi for me, folks. If you follow him, he's one of the good ones out there. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Absolute pleasure. Josh Young, everybody. Josh Young, doing the Lord's work out there in the comedy world. Let me get back to you, Steve. Hey, how you doing? What kind of comic do you think you would be, Steve?
So I have very little experience in doing this. One of my media like prep courses in college, one of our assignments was we could either put together like a whole 30-minute newscast, like by A block, B block, C block, all the different stories, put in different stories, all this kind of shit to it, or we could put together like an 8-minute set, like a stand-up set, but it was like more of like a TV monologue type of like bit, and so I chose that over the convoluted like news story thing, and it was horrifying, but I did it, and I made a couple people laugh, so that'll do.
Look, you're very fun. You're a very funny young man. I would, and technically, I have payment pending if I get that bid up and running. You did write a bid for me.
Yeah, I get to put that on LinkedIn, right? I can just put like comedy writer like somewhere. I don't have to add any details. I can just, it's not lying if it's on there. It's like just like a bullet point somewhere.
Hopefully it makes my special when I finally get out of my depression to do it. Jared the Dark Judge is a big fan of stuff on Dropout, but their new show that is all comics doing crowd work is sometimes really hard to watch, and a lot of for me is stuff I've learned listening to you on comedy. Yeah, I don't always love crowd work. I'm in the middle of it. I do a lot of it, but I don't call it crowd work. I call it like crowd involving. And I really do think it's distinct and different from a lot of other crowd work stuff. But there's also just some great crowd work comics. I get it. Matt Rife is not one of them, but he's not bad at what he does. I just don't support him in a lot of other things. But Mike Falzone has got a great show. Maybe one day I'll get Mike on the show. He's got a thing called like Stand Up in the Round, basically, and it's like or Stand Up Surrounded or something like that. And they do the shows surrounded by everyone, and it's just it's all crowd work, and it can be fun. So I haven't watched any Dropout stuff. Steve, I think I'm too old for the Dropout. Am I too old to watch it?
So no, young. I'm not gonna say young at heart because you'll see right through me. But I think I think that's I think there's value in seeing what the youngins are up to, and what new ideas
Okay.
people
I'll
come
check
up with
it.
and
I'll
kind of
check it out.
styles and stuff they do. I couldn't do something like that. That would the circle thing I could get down with, but just not knowing what I'm going to talk. I can't go in front of a room of people without knowing what I'm going to talk about, which is ironic because I don't know about 80% of what we're going to talk about when we do this. But
Yeah.
in a comedy setting like that, I think there's different expectations, right?
Yeah.
I would be like a storyteller type of comic. I have to go through like, okay, here's like 3 stories I'm going to tell, and there will be natural places in that to involve people.
That'd be great. Look, when we get BlatherCon going, we'll give you a set. We'll give you a set. Yeah, some questions, and we got Wiley Todd calling in with an update here, and then we're gonna look at some sports and get on out of here. If you guys want to call in, you know how to call in. Become a YouTube channel member, Patreon member, jump in there. 8984M says, "What's the inside baseball and crowd work?" Because the algorithm seems to love it for some reason, because it's what mostly is out there. JMB says it doesn't always, I assume because it doesn't always work, but we don't see that side as much as the audience, because how often are comics going to show crowd work? Gone horribly wrong, unless it's funny. Yeah, no, I agree with that. The quick answer is the biggest comedy club in the world is the internet. And that's where a lot of comics are rising to fame. And the general consensus is you don't want to share your material, because if people want to they see your bit, they see you online, and they buy a ticket to see your show, all your greatest jokes might have already been shared. And I think that's changing a little bit. I'm being more comfortable in just sharing, sometimes even the same bit. Like, it changes, it moves, see how it grows. But the crowd work is the easiest way to kind of fire your gun without using your bullets. That sounds kind of sexual, Steve.
Definitely sexual. I was trying to that's definitely, yeah.
There you go.
Shooting blanks is another way to put it, too, but yeah, you're still, that doesn't help.
Yeah. And so to not get into the weeds on this too much, Brady, but like, as it got popular and it elevated people faster, and not all of those people, I think, deserve that elevation, at least unnaturally. You naturally going to get better as a comic or all that kind of stuff, but it elevated people faster. Clubs are booking those people, and maybe they're not the best comics yet. It's a nice way to say it. And a lot of the old guard is against that. A lot of the old guard is frustrated at that. Or, you'd think I would be like this, Steve, because, I don't like change as much. It's just new technology. It's a new way of thinking to approaching your comedy career. And I think that's why a lot of old timers are gruff with it. But they'll always go to, it just shows that you don't have material. And that's not always true. Sometimes it might be, but it's not always true.
I think it could kind of go back to the idea of bring it to sports. This is like all those quarterbacks who get thrown in there their rookie year and are expected to do really well just because they did good in college. It's like, no, kid, you used to have to sit on the bench for 2 years and watch me smoke cigarettes at halftime and lead the offense till I was 35 years old before you got a shot.
Yeah, exactly. Hold the clipboard for 6 seasons. But it's as if, though, that quarterback got drafted not because he went to college and could play. It's because he threw the football really far on TikTok and someone signed.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah, that's kind of where it's at. But anyways, all right, let's get to Wiley Todd. Wiley Todd is here. I clicked the button. There it is. Wiley, it's Advice Monday. Maybe not doing heavy advice today. The Eagles are playing. We got to get Steve out of here. But Wiley, we do want an update on your life and any needed advice.
So, Ken, sadly, no update.
Okay.
That's the thing. And I really debated about coming today. I was like, should I come and should I talk about something or anything like that? And I decided I've been doing it for a couple weeks now, so I thought I would show my face. At least
you can show. Okay, you're here.
Yeah,
we don't need to see your face. Do you have any further advice? Anything that Steve and I can counsel you on? Are you getting impatient with this delay in your future love life? Like, where are you at with this mentally?
Well, it's mentally, it's like, okay, we've already come up the conclusion of what I need to do. So you can't, like, yes, there's the temptation of like, oh, just shooting a Instagram DM and stuff, which I haven't done. But there is that moral dilemma that you're having, but I know is the right decision what we came up with. So I wanted to come here and talk about something I've always wanted to talk to you about, Ken, is the music, because you're big into it and I work in the industry, and with everyone I've followed in this space for a while, you're the only one that seems to be interested in that realm. So I just got done watching the Ken Burns documentary about country music.
I haven't watched that one yet. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I watched it back when it came out in 2016, and I was
Mhm.
very young. I didn't know I was going to go down the music route by that point. So, rewatching it now, I thought it was very fascinating. And one thing that I was watching when I was watching it was thinking of the argument that Beyonce is not country music, and people doing that debate and stuff like that.
Mhm, mhm,
With your music knowledge,
mhm.
what is your opinion on that debate?
On just her, herself doing a quote country album, the pushback against that?
Like because when I'm watching that documentary, the thing I came to the conclusion of is country music has always evolved. There's always
Mhm.
subgenres, bluegrass, which bluegrass is literally just no electric instruments and drums. It's just pure strings,
Right.
but it's still the same thing, same morals whatsoever. And then there's
Mhm.
been mix of genres. So now when you look at Beyonce's new recent album, it is
Mhm.
country in the sense of what it's trying to do. And
Yeah.
it might not sound authentic to what the people are saying that is country, which probably is that bluegrass sound. So it's like, but even back then, bluegrass was considered a thing that was like really weird. And even
Right.
Bakersfield was built out of, oh, we want something that's less polished type
Mhm.
of music. So I
Right.
feel like it's exactly country music, just in in a weird way.
Yeah. I mean, the first place I go to is she's from Texas, right? So she's got some claim to it, like to a certain form of country. I think there's some bigger issues, obviously, with the gatekeeping there that I just don't know too much about the country music landscape to wade into. But I could probably guess that some of it was from those kind of folks going, "What is she?" And also, I think a natural reaction. She did not come up in the country scene. And there is a little bit of a who's this interloper. Also, she's one of the biggest stars in the world. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying I can understand that to a degree. Speaking of stand up on a smaller scale, the amount of people, and there's some actors. It doesn't mean that you stand ups can be actors and actors can be stand ups, but there's some actors who are in stand up now taking up valuable real estate. And it's like, hey, you're not a comic. Like, what are you doing here? And it's proven when you're on stage. But she, I think, proved herself with a award-winning album, right? So, I don't have the specific answer other than I always think give it a shot. I understand, like even Chaperone has the song "The Giver" that is a country homage. I don't say she's going country. Sabrina Carpenter's "Man Child" has country sounds in it. I was just watching SNL recently. I was like, this is a country twang to it. But I wouldn't call that going country. But I would understand if someone was like, oh, they feel they can just do this blank album. But when you got that kind of talent, why not? I'm always going to chase an artist down a path.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite artist that took a turn from its main genre, Ken? Like from like your kind of selection? Like you're a fan of the Beatles, right? Like the Beatles did a whole different sound when they went Magical Mystery Tour. And I'm getting my master's degree, and I had to write an assignment about, was it smart to do the white album cover when it was sandwiched between Magical Mystery Tour and Yellow Submarine? And we had to write why that was, if it was a smart move or not, which was fascinating.
Yeah, well, the Beatles have several of those. I would say the one that comes to mind is lesser known and maybe less celebrated. There's a great band out of Scotland called Texas, and they came up in the late 80s and had heavy blues rock influences. The Rick's Road album, that was, I think, their first or second album, like total like blues rock. And then they kind of go away for a year or two, and they come back in about 96, 97 range with just a pure pop album. And it changed the tone of the band for several years, but it's a great tone. And I love all the music they put out equally. And they're still going strong. Charlene Spiteri, the lead singer, still going strong. But and I found them because of the pop stuff. And they had a big radio hit in like 96, 97 range. And then I went back to get the CDs, and it was kind of like, well, what the hell's this? Like, this is like bluesy shit. And I meant that in a good way. Like, I liked it, but it was like totally different. So I really appreciate bands like that.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. I just wanted to talk here and talk a little bit of music. So thank you.
Let's do it. Let's do it again. And Wiley, be patient. You'll find love soon.
Thank you, Ken. You have a nice day. A nice week. I should say.
I will try. Wiley Todd, check it in there. Steve, I'm sorry. I left you up for the music conversation.
It's fine. I'm not my place. Music makes me sad.
I'm tickled by that, by the way, because again, you're not the only one I've experienced this with, and I respect it. Number one, I respect it. Two, it does tickle me a little bit, like in the most.
We'll get to it one day. One day. Talk about it one day.
Tully has a follow-up question. What's your take on Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions? I've always been a little cynical to it because it's not sports, it's not quantifiable. It's like, it's art, man. But the Oscars, Emmys, Golden Globes, it's weird when you start rewarding art. But if you look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a museum, I think everyone should be in at that point. But I get it. I get the need to celebrate. I see it as a need to celebrate these people and the ability to celebrate these people. Soundgarden this past weekend. And by the way, you as a sports fan, we all hit that point, Steve. You're definitely there, but it's going to get worse in the next few years when you start leaving your mid-30s. But when that little bright rookie star, the number one draft pick on your Eagles team that you like, retires and it becomes like a coach or broadcaster, and you're like, but I'm still 26. Like, it hurts. When a band that you're like, oh yeah, that new band is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it breaks your soul a little bit. But overall, Tully, I've come to a good place with it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I have a few. I mean, Brandon Graham retired and then just decided to come back this year, so he spared me from that a little bit because that's one of those guys. I mean, been a while. I mean, Donovan McNabb could have been that, but then he was decided to be an asshole and not likable at all and didn't have a TV career. But yeah, you're right. It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you've definitely experienced. Like, I was watching the Charger game last night as we transition into sports for a quick little moment here before we get out of here. But I was watching that Charger game, and what's his home? Is it who's their quarterback now? Is it Stafford?
Oh, no, the Chargers,
Herbert, and drafted after Tua by a pick. That keeps me up at night. But they showed like a highlight because Keenan Allen set the franchise record for catches, and they talked about Phillip Rivers, and I just was like, I honestly thought Phillip Rivers was still a quarterback. I think
Phillip Rivers retired, had 2 kids, went and played for the Colts, had 2 more kids.
Yeah.
Since all of that has happened. So
yeah. He's up to like 14 kids. Like, honestly,
I think he could field a whole offense or defense at least. He's got a full 11 at least. So.
Oh boy. All right. Quickly.
How do you tell the kids that, like, if you have 11 kids, how do you tell one of them, like, yeah, sorry, man, you're just a right guard. I know that your brother Timmy's the quarterback and your brother Jimmy's the wide receiver and your sister Sally is the other wide receiver, but
yeah,
sorry, Johnny, you're a right guard.
Is it pecking order? Yeah. You're the center. It's important. It's an important position. We all got to block sometime. Yeah. JMB says, my team traded for Carson Palmer, had Jeff George, and drafted Jamarcus Russell. Yeah, that's a trifecta right there. I remember all those names. Quick recap. I was 24-21 heading into the week, and I did not do well, Steve. Did not do well. I had a couple wins. I failed to go with my heart, and that cost me.
The Dolphins bit you in the ass. Yeah, so you ended up 2-3 on the week. So we're what did you say? You were 21-24?
24 and 21. So now I'm 26.
3 above. Yeah. So we're doing okay still. We're doing okay still. We'll have a new slate of games on Thursday. We're halfway through the season now, so we're a little over halfway through the season now. So at this point though, to be where you're at, to be making money, it's respectable. And your Dolphins have this like new, it's like you got rid of the GM and I guess they're playing for their coach. I don't know. Like, did they get to put the ping pong tables back into the locker room now that you beat the Bills? Like, how does this all work?
I'm trying to figure. I think it's still a high probability that Mike McDaniel is let go at the end of the season, right? Regardless of what happens. If you're bringing in a GM, you're starting over, blah, blah, blah. I also think there's a slight chance he survives. I just think Stephen Ross likes him. If he didn't fire him yet, And the GM, he was not the GM's guy. The GM had been there. The GM's been through like 3 coaches now. And so it was kind of like, hey, you know what the one consistent here is? You, Chris Greer, you're gone. And we like this guy. I still think there was talk of have the Dolphin players turned on their coach? Have they given up on their coach? And a lot of the Miami, Omar Kelly, a lot of the Miami Herald people kept saying that, no, we're not seeing that. It's close. It might feel that way, but we're not seeing that. And this past week, I think, proved that. And that was where I messed up. I touched upon it on the show on Thursday. I said the Dolphins always play the Bills great, like once a year. And usually it's in Miami. And I had a gut feeling they were going to kick their ass. And they did. I just didn't bet with my heart.
You had all those points too. I mean, it would have been worth it.
I know. My fantasy team, though, I did lose to Addy, and it's pathetic. 0-10.
Ouch.
0-10.
Yep.
Giants fired Dable's gone. Fired their coach, who used to be with the Dolphins, and he was the coach of the year. Anything can happen.
That was the opposite of what the Dolphins have. They got rid of their coach, kept their GM. Dolphins got rid of their GM, kept their coach. So who knows? Maybe they'll do a little swap action. Maybe Dayball comes to
Miami.
Or no, that wouldn't actually work because that doesn't work at all actually. But maybe I don't know. We'll work something out. Though I'm sure if there's anything, Ken, I'm sure your Miami Dolphins. I'm sure you have full faith and confidence in Stephen Ross to right this ship.
Oh yeah, next year we're gonna be
salvage all of this.
We're gonna be 14-3. We're gonna be Super Bowl. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All right. That is it. A little shorter episode tonight. It's the Monday show. Thank you to Josh Young. Give him a follow. I put the link down there on YouTube. Great young comic. Support young artists. You know, he probably doesn't feel as young as I think he is, but he is young. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for Wiley. Thanks for everyone. Jim, saw a super chat from you. UW fan Jim. Appreciate the generous super chat. Thank you all. We'll be back Thursday. We'll see you then. Bye.